So yesterday, after we actually entered for the long position on GJ, which we have made quite a good amount of money on, I was searching for other trading opportunities, right? And I was trying to look for like a swing trading opportunity because yesterday there was a scalp and I want to have like that one trade which I just let it run all the way to like a super far TP. And on that one trade, I want to make sure that I'm risking a little bit lesser than usual. So I pretty much found this opportunity to swing trade to play the pullback on GU, right? Because if you look at GU, what happened was that price has pretty much went down quite significantly, creating this break of structure. And this also means that if price take out this high right here, this internal lower high, we are going to start having like the very significant pullback to the extreme supply zone that we have marked up right here before we can potentially get more supply to create like a lower high here and have price continue heading down. So I was like, okay, cool. This is a good opportunity for me to just play the pullback, right? Because like I'm going to be waiting to short at this area. And meanwhile, I know that price is going to come out to this area. So why not just swing trade all the way up there? So I pretty much waited for price to actually sub liquidity below this low right here. If you go down to the lower time frame, you can see that internal structure have already shifted bullish, right? So that was the first confirmation that, you know, we are in that massive pullback phase. So I can really look to play the pullback. And also we are heavily within like the discount range if I were to actually mark up my premium discount too. So yeah, so we are still heavily within the discount range, which means price is still cheap, which also means that price is going to be gravitating towards the next areas of supply, particularly the extreme area of supply in that premium pricing era, right? In that premium pricing zone, which is why we pretty much entered for like a long position right here, right after price took liquidity over here. As you guys can see, swept some good old liquidity from these lows right here. And man, this was not the best entry. I don't know why, man. This week we have been getting shitty entries. Right after I entered for a long position, same thing with GJ. Price went into like a massive drawdown. Almost stopped me out, but didn't stop me out because I placed my stop loss at the right place. Once again, it's at the protected low, right? The swing low that swept liquidity. And I placed it a few pips below it. Like I said, man, this is why you always got to make sure that you give your stop loss a little bit of breathing room. Because if I just place it like right here or right here, I will get stopped out just for price to actually go in my way, right? So pretty much placed my stop loss at the right place. So even though we went to like a massive drawdown right here, where we were actually red yesterday, I was like, you know what, just going to continue trusting the plan, continue trusting the analysis. And then today when I wake up, I am surprised by the market. The market is all the way up here, right? So it looks like New York session did me a huge favor and pretty much continue like the internal bullish structure, right? You can see price just creating higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. And I pretty much just knew that price is just going to blast past all of this supply zone that we have on the left-hand side, which is why I didn't place my take profit right there because once again, smart money is just going to be using all of these supply zones as liquidity points, right, to facilitate a short-term pullback in this internal bullish market structure just for it to continue going up even further, which also means that there is not going to be any significant pullback or significant reversal until price get into these areas of premium right here, right, this super high up area of premium right here. And if I were to actually map out the extreme supply zone, price could even come all the way up here as well, right? So like all the way up here. So let me see whether I want to take profit right there or like at the edge of this supply zone, right? The reason why I marked that supply zone is because that's the 4-hour supply zone, right? There's a chance that price could mitigate a 4-hour supply zone and start shifting bearish. It might not always go up to the 1-hour refined supply zone, right? So yeah, if I were to just continue zooming out, and let me just map out every single supply zone right here so I do not miss anything, right? So that's next supply zone right here. And then pretty much next areas of resistance will probably be like up here. And if price is able to take out this 1.34673 area, we can potentially head up even higher to this one right here, right? This 1.35 level. And then if price were to take out the 1.35 level, then we can potentially head up to the 1.35 to the extreme area, right? So far, London liquidity has been extremely rewarding. You can see price is just surging like crazy right now, right? Kind of expected that, right? Because internal order flow is just so bullish. Like I said, this is more of like a swing trade. I am more than happy to just continue letting my winners run high on this one rather than taking profit early at all of this point of interest right here. Yeah, but this is that one trade that I really want to just get like a good risk to reward on, like just let the profits run. And right now it's at like 4.3R. Obviously we can even like let it run all the way up to 5, around 6R, right? Maybe like somewhere around here. This would be pretty attractive, not gonna lie, right? But you know what? I'm just gonna continue to observe, right? I want to observe what price does at this price point. So yeah, man, just gonna continue being patient, right? Just continue folding my arms, not getting tempted to take profits prematurely, and just let it run. I do think that price is gonna get up to this extreme supply zone right here, though. But who cares about what I think? It only matters what I do, right? So it's like, all right, doesn't matter what I think, right? I can think price is gonna go up and I still end up taking profits early, then I am still the stupid idiot, right? So let's just continue to observe what price does, man. It could come up to this area here, it could reverse, it could also come up to this area right here and then reverse. Let's just go with the flow, right? Go with the flow, trust the universe, man. Now, for people who want to like trail their stop loss, right? This is one of those cases where I personally would move my stop loss if I were using the trailing stop loss method. Once again, I don't really use this method, but if I were to trail my stop loss, I will only move my stop loss once structure has been created and once liquidity has been swept, right? Which means I only want to move my stop loss from the original higher low to the new protected low that is formed, right? So if it's just an ordinary low just like this, there is no liquidity sweep whatsoever, this is not a significant low where I want to personally move my stop loss to, right? I want to see price goes up, sweep liquidity right here, right? Creating like a protected low. Then this is where I will move my stop loss, right? And the protected low must break structural. Without structural break, without structural confirmation, I'll just leave my stop loss as it is and I will not move it recklessly or prematurely. Because what can happen is that you move your stop loss right here without sweeping liquidity, without getting like a strong swing low. And then when price make like a massive pullback and sweep some liquidity, maybe like mitigate this demand zone right here and then continue going up, and you're stuck there wondering what the hell is going on with the market because like you just got stopped out and price went exactly in the way that you expected it to go. But guess what? You're already out of the position because you were stupid enough to place your stop loss at the wrong position and you were stupid enough to be the liquidity. So yeah, that's how I personally would trail my stop loss if I were to actually like, you know, like use the trailing stop loss method. Okay, but I'm a heavily risk taker, right? So I don't use the trailing stop loss method at all. I'm more of like a set and forget guy because once again, man, I just trust my analysis. What's the worst that can happen? The worst that can happen, lose 12K on this trade, right? No biggie. But if I win this trade, this would be a humongous trade, right? Or not humongous, but like it's pretty decent, right? It's good enough, right? Okay, so I just woke up this morning and I don't trade Asian session, but since I'm in the swing trade right now, I'll just look, right? I just want to see like where price is at right now and whether it still makes sense for us to like try to target this extreme point of interest as our take profit. And so far, price is at least coming up to our initial take profit right here. So I'm pretty confident that that's going to be smashed within like the next few hours, right? And there's a high chance that price can even come all the way up here to the 1.348 level. And if we target that area right there, that'll be like a 1:4.7, right? Still pretty decent considering how we risk about 12 bands on this trade. So right now, what I'm really curious about is how price will react to this supply zone that we have up here. After all, this is a supply zone that did swap some liquidity right here. And this is like the nearest extreme sort of supply zone that we have within that premium pricing itself. So yeah, that's pretty much where I'm going to be placing my take profit. At first, I place my take profit like right here at the edge of this 4-hour supply. Okay, but judging by the current momentum, judging by the current price action, I'm more than happy to just let it continue running a little bit more to the next 1-hour supply that we have marked up right here. Okay, so like I said, I have earned the right to be discretionary, right? So even though my initial take profit was right here, I want to let my winners run, right? And I want to make sure that I'm getting out at a price point where price will actually reverse. I want to make sure that I milk every single bit possible from this huge pullback to the upside. And to me, I deem this as a valid price to actually get out of this winning position itself. And just like what we expected, price did use all of these little supply zones that we have on the left hand side as liquidity points, right? Price mitigate this one, pullback, mitigate this, pullback, and right now it's about to blast right through this one right here. And it's going to come up to the next one that we have up here, right, which is where we are placing our TP. This is the consolidation, this is the range supply zone, and this is the refined supply zone. And judging by market mechanics, price is going to come out to the refined supply zone that we have marked out right there. So that's pretty much the best place to actually place my TP. Just look at how bullish the internal order flow is, man. Like, look at this. It's just going to continue breaking structural to the upside, right? Just continue pushing up until we eventually get all the way up there. And then this could happen during the London session. And then when the London session opens, price could even come all the way up here as well. Damn, okay, you know what? Maybe we have to like play by ear, right? Maybe we might want to take partials right here and then just let the other one run to this extreme point of interest like what I've mentioned earlier. So let's see what price does next. Let's continue to observe. So it's like 1 hour before London session and I just took a dump. And you didn't need to know that, but the reason why I tell you that is because I'm the most transparent, honest, humble trading mentor ever. Right? I have to tell you every single action that I take in the market. Right? So yeah, man, took a dump. So right now we are looking at the charts. It's about 1 hour before London session. Now here's my prediction for the London session, or rather before the London session, or even when London session actually opened. There's going to be like a bear trap, right? There's going to be like a move just like this to induce the retail traders to enter for a sell early, right? There's going to get that little move to the downside. So I'm pretty much anticipating it, and you can't feel what you can anticipate, right? So right now I just know that price is potentially going to make like a small little pullback, right? Have like this initial fake bear trap, and then later on when London session actually opens, price is going to continue heading up just like this to smash our overall TP. So London session just opened about 20 minutes ago. Just got back from the gym, you know what I'm saying? So anyways, when I look at GU right now, price is pretty much pulling back to this previous demand that we have on the left hand side, right? Like what I pretty much anticipated, when London opened, there is going to be an influx of sell orders, and that is the bear trap. That is to induce all the retail traders to actually either look for shorts or the people who are holding the long positions to get out early. That's all it is. It is simply an inducement, which is exactly why we are not getting phased by this move to the downside, even though my profits like literally diminished by half. But I'm not phased whatsoever because I'm very aware of this particular pattern. I've seen it 1,000 times. Right, like London open, boom, this move happens, and then later, 1 hour after London session, the entire trend direction start continuing bullish. And that's what I'm pretty much expecting price to do next, right? And once again, just to show you guys that this is legit, look, this is the 1 hour candle being formed right here. And right now it's pretty much pulling back to this this demand zone that we have marked up right here that broke structural. This demand zone have also swept liquidity as well. Okay, but I'm not really sure whether there is sufficient demand at this area for price to just head up. So we will have to see. Looking at price right now, this demand zone has to hold in order for the internal order flow to remain bullish, which I believe is gonna continuing bullish until it actually get all the way up to this 1.351 level, right? So I'm pretty much holding firm to my bias. Just gonna continue playing it out. It's like, the reason why I can just hold on to the trade is because I kind of know to a degree on what price is going to do next. So as a result, I'm not really surprised by the fact that price actually did this. And at the same time, I'm also expecting the worst. So that when the worst actually happens, guess what? I'm prepared, right? Now, I think that traders severely overestimate their competence level and underestimate the amount of feedback you can get from reviewing your trades at the end of each week, at the end of each month, at the end of each quarter or year. I was actually reviewing my trades just now and I realized the amount of stupid mistakes, stupid decisions that I committed in the past 1 week. And like, I realized there is so many things that I could have done better, and there is so many things that I shouldn't have done, and that awareness only comes from actually reviewing your trades. So it's not just about doing, it's also about reviewing as well. Because the trader who has reviewed 100 trades will always be the trader who only done 100 trades. And like what Naval Ravikant said, life is lived in the arena, not in theory. You don't learn trading by studying books or watching YouTube videos. You learn by doing. You learn by being in the arena, getting marred by dust, sweat, blood, and tears, and actually doing for an extended period of time without seeing any outcomes. That's how you get competent. That's how you get good. So instead of searching for the holy grail strategy or searching for the information that will make you profitable, just review your trades. Because the best information about your trading is your trading. There is so much information that is in there, but you don't bother to look at it. Instead, you hop on to the next shiny strategy, you look at the next book, you search for the next YouTube video which will make you profitable, when the only way to become profitable is by analyzing your own trades, by going back and reading the tape. I don't think this is like a magical information, but I do think that people know that this is extremely difficult to do, and as a result, they don't do it. And they choose the path of least resistance rather than the path of most resistance because they want to avoid the pain of confronting their trades, confronting their losses, confronting their inner demons. And that is why they don't succeed. Because if you don't have the balls to review your trades, to look at your losses straight in the eyes, then how can you expect the market to pay you? It's not going to pay you because you're a pussy. That's it. So instead of just doing your best, do what's required. That's my constant self-talk these days. It's like, I won't just do my best because my best is not what is required from me by the market. Like if I want to become profitable, I have to be disciplined. I have to be focused. And sometimes me doing my best is not me being focused or disciplined. It's just me doing the best that I can do in that particular circumstance. And I realized that, no, you can't just do your best. You have to do what is required. And what is required is for you to travel the path of the most resistance every single day when you are faced with a dilemma on whether you should take this shitty trade or this good trade. Be disciplined or be undisciplined. Be calm or be emotional. Every single trade that you take is a vote for the trader that you want to become. So if every single day you show up to the market, you do what's required, you are doing the right thing, taking the right trade at the right time, you are literally voting yourself to become a disciplined trader, which is also a profitable trader. Because a profitable trader is not one that is making a lot of money all the time, but rather is the one that has learned how to lose better, cheaper, and faster than anyone else. And that's the guy who is not afraid of losses. And that's the guy who embrace pain, who actually look and analyze the losses so that he can actually learn from his shortcomings and get better. And that's the guy that's gonna win. So every single day I wake up, I try to be that guy, rather than the guy who's a one-trick pony who can make money here and there, flip a small account to $10,000 but then lost it all the next day. Because that's a guy that will not last in this marathon. Now with that said, I do want to be very wary about this price action because of the fact that we knew that this was actually a pullback, right? And right now prices pretty much came all the way up here into premium pricing and also mitigated like our 4-hour supply zone. So at any point of time right now, if there is sufficient supply in the market to outweigh the internal bullish structure, the internal demand order flow, then the market is just going to shift bearish, right? So we want to be very wary of that, knowing that at any point of time right now, it could shift bearish because of the fact that it has indeed come into our premium zone. It has indeed mitigated our 4-hour supply zone, right? So there is not much reason for price to continue all the way up here, unless the internal structure is strong enough, unless there is sufficient demand, and unless price needs more liquidity above these highs right here before it can actually start crashing. So yeah, that's pretty much it. If price start taking out this low here with a lot of selling pressure, then we might just start shifting bearish, and that is not something that I want to partake in, right? So yeah, let's just continue to play to see what price does next, right? Because right here, it's not looking good, to be honest with you, right? But you know what? I don't want to assume. I never want to assume, right? I just want to see what price does and then react accordingly, right? So let's just be chill, all right? Yo, what up, guys? So the weekend is over. Today is Monday. We have been holding this trade for quite a few days. And if you're wondering why I'm not in my usual setup or why I sound so soft, it's because I'm actually sick right now. I have like a very bad sore throat and I'm like dizzy as hell, but I just wanted to like update you guys on like how the trade is going. Judging by the current price action, you can see the internal order flow. We want this to get taken out. Once that get taken out officially, then we can potentially shift back bullish and we can expect price to hit TP soon. If not, right, price ends up respecting this lower high, then guess what? We're going to continue down even lower. So those are the two things that price can do right now. And now it's just seeing which scenario actually play out first. Right, my head is really dizzy right now, so I'm going to be right back. Yo, we just got stopped out of this trade. After holding this bloody trade for 1 week. Oh my god, this is such a stupid loss, bruv. I'm just looking at this right now, I'm just like, why? You know, on that one trade where I decide to let my winners run high, the market decided to start fucking reversing like crazy and start hitting my stop loss. Oh my god, this is a stupid trade, man. Like, I'm just sitting here thinking like, Brad, you're better than this shit. Like, you should have TP right here, man. Not gonna lie. Why do you decide to let that one trade run? Hey, but at least it's a decent sized loss. Like, this could be like a 20k loss if I was not careful about my risk parameters. I was like, okay, you know what? This is the one trade where I plan to just let it run high, right? Let it run all the way up to this swing high. So if that's the case, it's a little bit more risky because I'm not used to like having such a humongous risk to reward, which also means that I should maybe like size down a little bit, right? So we actually end up risking about like 10k on this trade itself, right? And yeah, if we include the fees and shit, then that's probably like 11k. Anyways, man, I can't even speak right now. I'm so embarrassed to be even speaking right now. But I feel like this is one of those laws where it just humbles me, you know. As you guys saw, like at one point of time, we were up like $36,000 or even up to like $37,000 when price was all the way up here. And this is where I decided to, you know, be a little bit ambitious when it comes to my TP and start moving it up right here. Even though I kind of knew that there's a chance that price is going to mitigate that 4-hour supply and just start shifting bearish, right? Like, it doesn't have to come up to this extreme 1 hour, 15-minute supply zone that I hope it's going to go up to, right? So I accepted the risk of like, you know, it could work out this way or it could not work out and price could just reverse. And once again, I choose to take that risk, okay? Like I said, for every 5 trades that you take, you have to let one run, right? You have to let one like position run all the way to like the TP, right? Just, you know, to train my courage a little bit. So this is that one trade. So as a result, I can't even be mad that I actually took a loss on this trade because like I took the risk, right? And if I accepted the price and I knew that this could potentially happen, then it's like, you know, like, is it really a bad loss? Because it could have been both ways, right? Like, I could get stopped out, accepted the risk, you know, lose 11k, or price can go all the way up here and I could like double my profits, right? So once again, this was like a risk that I was willing to accept because I had quite a bit of like profit buffer to play with. So yeah, price pretty much went all the way up here. And then over here, when price broke structure, I think it was on Friday, I was kind of like thinking about how the price action is not ideal to be holding this trade anymore. But I tell myself that if price actually did not take out this low, we are still fine. So price actually pulled back up here. So I was like, yay, you know, right, there's a chance that we're going to go up to the moon again. But then later on, price just pull back up to this area to mitigate this supply right here. I mean, this flip zone that we have right here, swept some liquidity above this high and then started crashing down, broke structural, broke this low right here. And then at this point of time, when price is around here, I was like, honestly, honest to God, hoping that price will eventually go up. And I think at this point of time, I was no longer trading the market. I was simply trading my perception of the market. I was simply seeking evidence to reaffirm my bias. And I simply did not want to accept the fact that I'm wrong. And that is when I realized that I wasn't trading the market anymore. I was trading my own ego. I was trying to put the need to be right rather than the need to make money. Like over here, I could have closed the trade, right? Made about like, I don't know, 20k or 15k. I just closed it right there. But I didn't. Even though price took out this low, even though I knew that price is shifting bearish, because somehow I was still hoping that, you know, price will pull back to this demand right here, mitigate it, and then start going up. So I think like this is where I could have like, you know, just call it quits. So after taking this loss, I was thinking about how unfair it is. After all, I have held this trade for 6 bloody days and I just lost 11K. And then yesterday, I entered a trade on gold and held a trade for 6 minutes, right? 6 to 7 minutes, and I make 64K. 64K in 6 minutes, negative 11K in fucking 6 days. So I was sitting there and thinking like, what? The market is weird, man. Like the market is unfair. And then that is when I realized that the market doesn't fight fair. Like if you're still praying and hoping that the market fight fair, then my friend, you are simply living in your own delusion, little fantasy land, all right? Because the market doesn't fight fair. Okay, price is price. The market will just move the way it moves. It's like the market is always right. In this particular trade, I was the one who's wrong. And I think when you start pointing the blame finger at yourself instead of at the market or the smart money or your broker or the market makers, that is where you are pretty much relinquishing the power and the control back to you. Because now you actually have the ability to change your reality. You actually have the ability to change your actions, which shapes your reality. So now I'm just sitting here and I'm thinking like, okay, what can I learn from this loss? What can I do in the future to prevent myself from getting in this situation again? How can I actually, you know, like be more smarter when it comes to letting my winners run high? And it seems like I need to do more work, right? I need to test more of like this variable of my strategy, right? Which I'm incorporating into my trading strategy right now. So yeah, that's on me. And now it's time for me to actually go out there and do the work. That's it, right? There's no point sitting here blaming and whining and just freaking sulking about the fact that, you know, the market doesn't fight fair and everything sucks in the world. No, you eat the loss and you move on, right? So right now I'm just facing this loss. Oh, this is a pretty big ass loss. I mean, like in terms of like just putting it on the screen, you know, just freaking like showing it to you guys. $11,000 loss. It's not all rainbows and sunshine, right? Even as a trader who makes like 6 figures a month consistently, I still have days just like this where I doubt myself, where I think that, you know, maybe I'm not as good as I think I am. Maybe the haters and the naysayers are right. But on those days, I try to rationalize the entire situation. I just tell myself that, yo, Brad, you're just being stupid. It's like you have been doing this shit for like the past 7 years. You have been faced with a shit ton of losses. Like you are so good at losing right now that it shouldn't even bother you anymore. And I think that's when I realized that I've grown, because I'm no longer attaching the P&L of my account to my identity. I don't think that, oh, I have a losing day, so I suck at trading and I'm a bad trader and I'm gonna die. Instead, I'm attaching my self-worth to my ability to execute. It's like, okay, as long as I'm following my trading plan, as long as I'm getting better every single day, you know, as long as I'm focusing on like the process and, you know, like developing good habits, what is this loss? Why should this loss affect me? Because if you go in with this mentality, you can't lose. Like generally, you can't lose with this mentality. So yeah, man, that's pretty much it. Yeah, gonna go and journal about this and think about how we can refine this part of like the trading plan so that we can get more outsized returns, right? Trust me, there's gonna be that one day, or rather that one trade where I will hold it all the way up there and it will actually work out. It will actually work out. Like I just need more time to work out this variable of my trading plan right now. But once that's done, I'm gonna fucking crush it.